Hello dear viewers, I have finally returned. It's been months since I've last done something on YouTube, and I feel like making things again. But first, I'd like to explain why I quit my previous series. The main reason was that it was becoming too time-consuming to do. The last video I made was about 15 minutes in length, but took about 6 hours to make, including breaks. I spent some time doing research, then I'd record the game and I'd do retakes if I wasn't satisfied with how the game was progressing, and I'd do extensive retakes when I was adding my commentary afterwards. And of course all this I would do at a leisurely pace. This was a free time hobby project after all. I was in no hurry. But then somewhere, whilst I was doing my Let's Play series, I became a professional and my student life had ended. That unfortunately also meant my amount of free time had diminished significantly. I preferred making my Let's Play videos in one long stretch at a time, so everything would be fresh in my memory. I'd start with the game, then I'd record it, and afterwards I'd add my commentary, I'd edit the video, and I would upload it to YouTube on the very same day. I found it a lot harder to do when also working full-time. It would mean I would have to dedicate the main part of, say, the Saturday to this project. I'd rather not spread it out over the course of a few days, doing it a few hours every night. So eventually I kept postponing and procrastinating on my next video, and at some point I decided that was enough. I should stop. And apart from my Let's Play video, I also lent my voice to 2 other cool projects. The first of these projects was Dino Boy, and this was a direct result of me doing my Let's Play videos. I got contacted by someone who needed a voice for an interactive children's book on the iPad. They had heard my voice in my videos and thought I was a good candidate. So eventually I ended up recording the entire book and each word separately as well. This is for children who are trying to learn how to read. They could have me read everything or just help out with the few words that they have trouble with. And this was quite a bit of work, and it's a good thing I was a programmer, because I needed to do quite a bit of scripting to make everything work, to rename the files, to do batch editing and noise removal. This book has been out for a while yet, and you can find it in the App Store if you search for the name, and the price at the moment is around €1 or $1. Another project I did is the Marble project, where a colleague told me to take a look at this project because he has one of the phones that can run the Marble software, which is a GPS program using maps from OpenStreetMap. It's completely open source, which is the main point. And they needed voices for a GPS navigation feature, so since I had all the recording equipment already set up for the Dino Boy project and for my Let's Play videos, I figured I should give this one a shot. Which is ironic, because I am known for my terrible sense of direction amongst my friends. Well, I didn't win this, it was actually a competition, but I did get a t-shirt for my efforts, which was nice. Now, unfortunately, I can't really buy one of these Mimo phones, which are Linux phones, because they're not for sale in the shops here in the Netherlands. But I believe that work is being done on an Android version, and you can also download the voice files in the TomTom format. So if you are able to, if you know how to do that, to switch your TomTom voice files with custom audio. You can upload my voice if you'd like. And after months of silence on my YouTube channel, I think it's time for something new, because I still like to do something which involves me speaking English. I really like English. And judging from the reactions I got for my Let's Play series, that there were quite a few viewers who didn't care at all for the content. They just like to hear me talk. So whatever it is I'm going to be doing, the main point has to be that it involves me talking. And ideally it shouldn't take as much time as my Let's Play videos did. So let me list a few ideas I have on what I could do. First of all, I could simply do some reading. This would be the pretty much the lowest effort thing I could do. I'd pick a text that is already written and I'd simply read it and then upload the result. The only issue here is copyright. As long as I read something that is no longer under copyright, there shouldn't be any problems. So these can be books that are old enough, or they could be Wikipedia pages. I could in fact upload it right onto Wikipedia. Now, some things I have in mind already are some stories by Oscar Wilde. I really like Oscar Wilde. The stories are generally quite humorous and very witty. Another thing I could do is Grimm's fairy tales. Then they should also be out of copyright. And even though I am familiar with the stories, I have never actually read them in English. So that would be interesting. I could read some poetry if anyone could suggest me some, because I have absolutely no idea about poetry in English. Another idea I have is to do some instructional or how-to style videos, where I would be teaching you how to do something, like how to make a good cup of tea the way I do it, or how to set up key-based authentication with Secure Shell. This is a rather technical topic, but I do that kind of stuff for a living, and this is something I have to explain to colleagues sometimes, and now and then I could just point them to the video. I could explain how I record and edit these videos, for example. I could teach you how to improve your handwriting. People tell me I have nice handwriting, so I could explain how I do this. I could tell you a bit about how you can improve legibility of presentations or text that you're writing, a few basic principles that I apply that make them far more pleasant to read. Or I could simply redo a presentation I did at work. I sometimes do presentations at work, and they are usually already in English, and I could then upload that to YouTube, and I could also point future colleagues to those videos in case they missed them, to educate them about something, because most of the time they're about I think I've done one about why you should use version control, for example. I could make a video out of that. I could do some informational or opinion things, like I could explain a concept or a phenomenon, or I could give my opinion. A few years ago I had to write a paper on on an opinion piece related to internet and networks. So I wrote one about why I think that controlling internet use is generally a bad thing, and also quite ineffective. I could do some reviews of PC games, because I have hundreds of them. I could review the few electronic gizmos that I have, and I have opinions about. I don't buy them often, but there are things I like and dislike about them. I could review books I've read. Currently, I read 3 hours a week during my commute. Or I could do vlogging. Yeah, this is a bit controversial because there are so many bad vloggers around. So I'm not going to make one and try to be funny, because I'm not a comedian. But they would be more spontaneous, and maybe I should think about setting up a webcam or a camera. But they can also be potentially unstructured and incoherent. But the topics can be about pretty much anything. They could be about my day, if you'd like to hear about that. So that concludes my list of things I have considered. But if you have any suggestions yourself on what I could do, please let me know. Leave them in the comments or send me a message, and I'll think about it. I am mostly interested in suggestions on what I could read for you, but keep in mind the copyrights. As long as they're in order, I can do it. And if you have any completely different ideas about what I could do, stuff I haven't mentioned yet, do let me know. Well, that concludes my video for now. Good night, and see you next time.